Hello and welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to be looking at how attackers exploit port 22 on the Metasploitable server. Port 22 runs SSH, right, the secure shell. So I'm going to head straight to my terminal and then we set up for this attack. So I'm here on my Ubuntu terminal, and the first thing is I want to start the MSF console because we are going to need it. I'm also going to run a port scan on the Metasploitable server, and you can see right here that the Metasploitable server is up and running. So what we are going to do now is I am going to run nmap-sv-p for the port 22, and we are running it against 192.168.17.128 like this. Right, when I hit enter, nmap is going to run the scan quickly, and we're going to find out if this port is opened or not. If it is open, fine. Can we then get an exploit from MSF to log to brute force it? So you can see port 22 or TCP is opened. It is running the service SSH, and the version is open SSH 4.7p1. all right, so I'm here on the MSF and I'm going to clear the screen and immediately search for SSH underscore login. When I do this, you see that we have two results: auxiliary scanner SSH login. We also have auxiliary scanner SSH underscore login public key. So what we are going to do here is we are going to use 0 because the first one has the index number of 0. So we're going to use 0. And let's just look at the options that we have. Let's look at the options. So I'm going to basically maximize my terminal, and you see we need a pass file, we need to put a remote host, we need a user file as well. The remote port has already been set, and you can see stop on success is set to false, and I think I'm going to allow it like that. And just to show you that I already have the password file and the users file here. If I list my home folder, you can see a password txt and a users txt. So we can cut password txt just to confirm, and you can see just a few passwords that we've got. Same likewise for the users.txt. And if you want to perform an attack like this in real life, you want to get a password list from the internet, and there are so many password lists on the internet. Password list with millions, at times tens of millions of passwords, like Roku.txt that we have on Kali. It comes with 14 million passwords, right? So let's set our parameters right here. So I'm going to set users underscore file. Is it users file or user file? User underscore file to users.txt. I want to set pass underscore file to password.txt. I also want to set the remote host to 192.168.17.128. As for good practice, I always will go back and just check again, share options, and we have our pass file set, we have our remote host is set, our R port is set, and our user file set as well. So let's run this, and we've started a brute force attack against this server. And a brute force attack basically is an attack where an attacker is trying a combination of usernames and passwords against a particular host, and this is what we are doing right here. So let's give it a second and see if it is going to if our brute force attack is going to succeed. If it does, if it gets a matching password and a username, we are then going to try to SSH into the server using those credentials. So just give it a second and then we move forward. Alright, our scan has been completed and we have got MSF admin, and we have got root and password as matching credentials. So what I'm going to do now is head straight to a fresh new terminal. Let me clear the screen and let's try to SSH into the MSF console as MSF admin. So I'm going to SSH as MSF admin at 192.168.17.128 on port 22. Hit enter and we get an error message, right? Unable to negotiate with this IP address on port 22 because there is no matching host key found. What it is telling us simply is that our Metasploit server is using deprecated SSH keys, the RSA and the DSS, right? And since our Ubuntu is modern, it is a 2025 version, it cannot SSH into the MSF, the Metasploitable2 server because the keys do not match. The Metasploitable2 server is using deprecated keys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a command, and I have it here. I'll put it straight. I'll put it on the comment section so that you can use it. So this is our command, and our command is very easy. It is basically telling our Ubuntu, authorizing our Ubuntu to default, to downgrade itself into these vulnerable keys or into these deprecated keys and SSH into MSF, into the Metasploitable2 as MSF admin at 192.168.17.128 on port 22. So if I hit enter, you see that we are going to be able to do this, right? We are going to be able to SSH into that server. So it asks for the password. The password is MSF admin. Enter. And we have another problem. And the problem is that I didn't have to include 22 after it, right? So our command was okay, but this 22, that the port number that I included after it, that's what caused the problem. So I'm going to run this command again, and when it asks our password, we are going to put the password, and I think that everything is going to be fine. So MSF admin, and now you can see that we are logged in. We've successfully SSH into the Metasploitable server as MSF admin. So if you do ls, you can start to see a lot of things. Let's cut hacked.txt, and nothing was inside, and you can do a whole lot of things right here. You can even change password. You can do so many things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit this, because the purpose of this was to show you how you can SSH into the MSF admin, how you can exploit port 22 and get access into the Metasploitable2.